George, after you graduated from Shepherd, you went to Marshall University, right?
Yes,
Were you involved in any civil rights movement and anything down there at Marshall, at Huntington while you were there?
a little bit. I guess actually before I got to Marshall, Jim, I mean, yeah, got to Marshall, when I finished Shepherd, I tried to get a job teaching here in Jefferson County. I want to come down there with Paige Jackson Review, but yeah, but they wouldn't hire me. They wound up hiring another a white student who had lower grades than I did, and therefore I was forced to go to all black school in Berryville, Johnson Williams, to teach because I couldn't get teach right here in Jefferson County.
And they were only hiring black teachers for black schools.
Right, only black teachers, black students, and they wouldn't hire me. I never get that. I just knew I would get myself a job here. But then I went down to Marshall, and I had no intention of really getting involved in civil rights issues. And I met a fellow by the name of St. Leopold Ashwood, and we began to live together. And we were working on our master program on a special project. And we worked pretty steady on it. So at nighttime we used to go have a drink. And I was still working full time at the hospital, so I didn't have much time for anything else. So my night off, we would go out. Well, sometimes they would make out and maybe have a beer or two, something like that. I'll never forget, we went over right across the street from the university, and they refused to serve us. And this was in 60, must have been about 64. They actually refused to serve us, and we knew they had to serve us. So we got all upset. So I knew Herb Henderson. Everybody knew the NAACP when they get in trouble. And at that time, I was not a member of NAACP. So I never forget, I went to see Herb Henderson, along with Ashwood, to tell him what was taking place across the thing. Herb told me, he said, I want you to go and see Phil Carter. And that's probably the worst thing he ever told me to do. So I went to see Phil Carter, and Phil was a rebel rouser. I mean, not a rebel rouser. He was on top of things. He was really a young Rap Brown or Sophie Carmichael. He was into everything. He really changed Huntington. So I went to Phil and told him that Herb Henderson sent me to him. He said Herb's always sending people to him when they have problems like that. And so what happened, we began to protest, and as a result of that, they more or less integrated the place. I mean, Charles, we could go to and buy stuff, but then I more or less got connected with Phil, and we began to do quite a bit of marching down there in Huntington and so forth, and it was lots of fun. To me, it was just like I really was not into civil rights as such. It was more or less to me, I just wanted to do things to make things better, just to prove that I could get it done. And so Phil Carter was more or less the person there. He was pretty well organized. He had the student organized, had people in the community organized. He got the white pantry integrated in a couple other places, and people were pretty well scared to death. And I sort of enjoyed the ride, you know what I mean? Riding, being along with him and raising King. I was just one of the people there. And that's more or less was my how I got really involved with Phil Carter. And then as years go along, I've been with Phil and got involved in other things also. But
Well, I excuse me for breaking in, but you used the word integrated. And I'd always have some question about when these things are done, just because you are able to eat in a restaurant or go to school or whatever, if it's integrated. Is it integrated or was it desegregation?
desegregation, because I heard instances where lots of times, yeah, you can go to a restaurant and eat, but then they spit in your food in the back and give you stuff on the. I heard about throwing meat on the floor and put it back on the plate and give it to you serve. Yeah,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I heard about all those stories. It was desegregation. It wasn't integration. We really haven't got. We still don't have true integration now.
Right.
It always appeared that when they used that term integration, only meant that you can go to a white establishment. That's what I always get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I've never really understood, that word, what it really meant. Because even in the schools, all you heard from the white students, were they are coming to our school,
Right.
which made it a whole lot worse,
Yeah.
because their parents paid taxes too,
Mm-hmm.
for the school.
But Talbot, I didn't really get involved in, I guess, the mainline civil rights until around 1969 when I came back here from Huntington. Now, I got involved in stuff on my own. Like I filed complaints with the President, Council, and Equal Opportunity, and all this kind of stuff. I called Congressman, that kind of stuff. I've done all that stuff, and I've done lots of other crazy things. But when I came back here and you had the NAACP started, in my opinion, that you was too soft. That you was not out here raising enough hell. I thought you should be out here raising Cain and making Molotov bombs and having people organized and all this type of stuff. I know we get, I said, I can't get involved with Talbot and this kind of stuff. He's just too lame. I never forget that. I even told Barbara that. I said, what I should do is get a group up here organized and get something really active to really shake this place up real bad. That was my thought. And I never forget, one night was going to the large meeting, going up the steps, and Talbot asked me something about joining the NAACP or would I go with him to this place, something like that. I said, oh, well, I got nothing else to do, so I went. And then I really began to see how Talbot began to deal with people, you know what I mean, and how to get things accomplished. And then I decided, okay, I'll go ahead and join. And I guess I learned something from that, and I guess it's something that Bishop Baltimore taught me later on in life. Bishop Baltimore had a problem down at Jefferson High School. And he lived right next door here. And he would grab me and say, come on, Mr. Rutherford, we got to go down to school, we got a problem down there. And I'm not sure what the problem was. So we go down there to meet the principal, talk about the problem. I go in there raising. I was not the president. I don't know who the president was at the time. I went down there raising holy hell, want action. I mean, I ain't got time to negotiate. I want a whole lot of action, and all I did was got the principal mad. And Bishop Baltimore got there and said, "This is that. This is this. This is that. And we need this done and that done." He sort of calmed things down, and after Bishop got done saying it, the principal. More or less agree with Bishop Baltimore. Now, he didn't agree with me, and I was almost saying the same thing, but I was demanding and so forth, and not only this demand, I was hot-headed, like, to a certain extent. And then we came out, and Bishop Baltimore himself was coming back. And I said, Bishop, how come the man give you all this stuff like that? And I was asking the same thing. He always told me, he said, always remember, walk softly and carry a big stick. He always carry a big stick, just walk softly and you can get it. And then I realized all the negotiation that the NAACP has done over the years, they had not been no doormat, and they had not been docile, but they had been demanding, but they always had a big stick behind them. And I realized that when I was in the 60s and the other group, I didn't have a big stick. All I could do was holler and demand, but I didn't have a club behind me to force it. Well, the NAACP always had a club behind them. They had the national office, had the state office, and they had the lawyers and everything on the side. And all you have to say is just the NAACP. Then I realized over the years that all the organizations, when they got in trouble, SNCC, King, all of them got in trouble, it was the NAACP that bailed them up because they had that big stick,
When did you get involved with the Human Rights Commission in the state?
Well, I got involved in the Human Rights Commission in 1974. Mr. Damage was the chairperson, used to be on the commission, and then he stepped down and he recommended me, and I went on the Human Rights Commission for 18 years, and I was the chairman for 8 years.